In a small town called Crestview, where the stars twinkled brightly at night, a girl named Amy lived with her family. Amy was not like the other kids in her school. She had bright green hair and big, silver eyes, as if she belonged to another world. The truth was, Amy was an alien from a planet called Zephyra. She arrived on Earth years ago with her family, but they kept it a secret. Amy had learned to blend in, but she often felt a deep longing to understand her true home. One chilly evening, as Amy strolled near the woods, she noticed something unusual in the sky. A bright light shot across the dark canvas above, leaving a shimmering trail behind. She stopped in her tracks and stared at the sight. The light flickered and danced, finally landing softly in a clearing nearby. Curiosity flooded her heart, and Amy cautiously walked towards the clearing. To her astonishment, she found an enormous spaceship, gleaming under the pale moonlight. Waves of energy pulsed around it, and the air hummed with excitement. Amy's heart raced. Could it be a spaceship from Zephyra? She had heard stories about amazing ships that traveled through galaxies, but never thought she would see one in person. Suddenly, the spaceship's door opened, and a ramp extended down to the ground. A figure emerged, and Amy gasped in disbelief. It was a girl who looked just like her. The newcomer had the same green hair and silver eyes, but wore a shimmering blue suit that sparkled in the night. "Who are you?" Amy whispered, her heart pounding. The girl smiled warmly. "I'm Lyra, from Zephyra. I've come to find you, Amy." Shock washed over Amy. "How do you know my name? I thought I was the only one." Lyra stepped forward, her eyes shining. "There are many of us on Earth. We've been watching over you. We want to bring you home." Amy hesitated. She yearned to return to her true home, but she loved her life on Earth. "But my family is here. I can't leave them." Lyra nodded, understanding. "I know it's hard. But we have a problem back on Zephyra. The energy source that powers our planet is dying, and we need your help. You are special, Amy. There's something about you that can save our world." The words wrapped around Amy's heart, squeezing it with hope and fear. She thought of her family and friends, and then she thought of her home planet. "What do we need to do?" she asked, determination filling her voice. Lyra smiled widely. "We must awaken the crystal of Vitalis. It's hidden deep inside the Grithos Mountains. If you join me, we can find it together." Before Amy could answer, a loud noise broke from the trees. A group of men in dark uniforms rushed into the clearing, their faces masked. "Stop right there!" one of them shouted. Lyra grabbed Amy's hand, and they sprinted into the woods. The men chased after them, but the girls were quick and agile. As they dashed through the trees, Amy's mind raced. Who were these men? Why were they after Lyra? "Keep going," Lyra urged, leading the way. After what felt like hours of running, they stumbled upon a hidden cave, the entrance wrapped in vines and leaves. They quickly ducked inside, panting for breath. The cave was dark and cool, and the echoes of their heartbeats filled the air. "What are those men?" Amy asked, still trying to catch her breath. "They are called the Guardians. They don't want us to leave Earth. They want to capture anyone from Zephyra who's here," Lyra explained, her voice shaking with fear. Amy felt a surge of anger. "That's not right. We deserve to go home." Lyra nodded. "We have to be brave. We have to find the crystal before they find us." Together, the two girls sat in the cave and began to plan. They needed to get to the Grithos Mountains, but the Guardians would surely be looking for them. Amy's mind raced with ideas. "What if we created a distraction?" Amy suggested. "Something big enough to confuse them." Lyra's eyes lit up. "Yes. We could use your ability." For a moment, confusion washed over Amy. "My ability? Every Zephyrian has a special talent. Yours is creating light. You can make a dazzling display that will catch their attention. Amy took a deep breath and focused, feeling the energy within her. Concentrating, she raised her hands and closed her eyes. Suddenly, bright lights exploded around them, swirling in beautiful colors. The cave filled with a magical glow, illuminating the dark walls. Now! Lyra shouted, and the two girls rushed out of the cave while the guardians were distracted by Amy's dazzling display. They ran towards the mountains, hearts pounding, but laughter escaped their lips as they dashed through the trees. As they reached the base of the Grithos Mountains, they marveled at the towering cliffs. "We can do this together," Amy said, feeling empowered. Lyra nodded, leading Amy through a hidden path. They climbed higher and higher, facing steep rocks and slippery slopes. Finally, they reached a beautiful cavern that glimmered in the soft light of the crystal inside. There, at the center of the cavern, floated the crystal of Vitalis, radiating a soft, warm glow. It was an incredible sight, and Amy felt drawn to it. "Touch it, Amy," Lyra encouraged. As Amy stepped forward, a sudden roar echoed behind them. The guardians had found them. "Don't let them get the crystal," one of them shouted, rushing towards them. Amy took a deep breath and reached out, her fingers brushing against the crystal's cool surface. Instantly, a wave of energy flowed through her, filling her with warmth and strength. She felt connected to everything around her. Light exploded from the crystal, and a protective shield surrounded Amy and Lyra, pushing the guardians back. "Wow! It worked!" Amy exclaimed, feeling the power within her. The guardians stumbled, their eyes wide with shock. They did not know how to fight this energy. With newfound strength, Amy and Lyra focused together, channeling the light into the crystal. The energy pulsed like a heartbeat, renewing itself with every beat. As the guardians turned to escape, Amy felt a deep sense of satisfaction. They had protected the crystal, and together, they had made their home safe again. As they finished their task, the world around them shimmered with color. They had saved Zephyra, and Amy felt a deep connection to both worlds. Turning to Lyra, she smiled, "I think I can find a way to do both." And then, hand in hand, they left the cavern, ready to face the world together. Both the Earth and Zephyra would always be a part of their hearts. The alien girl watched in shock. Was this even possible? Xylo's 3 eyes widened. Her 6 delicate fingers clutched the worn metal railing of her observation deck. Below, bathed in the ethereal glow of Xylo's twin suns, sprawled the city of Pidar. But it wasn't the familiar, bustling Pidar she knew. This Pidar was different. It wasn't the towering crystalline structures that shocked her. Those were always impressive. It was the plants. Green, leafy things, impossibly vibrant, bursting forth from the very ground. Plants were virtually non-existent on Xylos, a planet choked by dust storms and harsh radiation. Xylo had only seen them in ancient, blurry data streams. "Impossible," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of the observation deck's ventilation system. Her companion, Zorp, a hulking Xyloscion with skin like polished obsidian and a single, glowing yellow eye, grunted. "What's impossible, little sprout?" The vegetation," Xylo stammered, pointing a trembling finger. It's thriving. On Pidar." Zorp followed her gaze. His expression, usually stoic, shifted slightly. "Perhaps the atmospheric processors are working better than expected." "But, it's not just thriving, Zorp," Xylo insisted, her voice rising. "Look. It's growing." Even from their vantage point, they could see the plants growing, visibly expanding, their green leaves unfurling like tiny flags in a silent parade. It was a terrifying display of life, an unnatural explosion of growth. Suddenly, a shrill alarm pierced the air. Red lights flickered across the observation deck. "Emergency alert," Zorp said, his voice taking on a low growl. "Unknown energy signature detected." They rushed to the central control panel. A holographic display showed a swirling vortex of energy above Pidar, pulsating with an unnatural blue light. "What is it?" Xylo asked, her voice tight with fear. "I don't know," Zorp admitted. "It's unlike anything I've ever seen." The energy signature grew stronger. The plants below responded, their growth accelerating dramatically. Tendrils reached towards the sky, stretching towards the swirling vortex. Then, a ship emerged. Not a Xyloscian ship, not anything they had ever encountered. It was sleek, organic, almost alive, pulsating with the same blue energy as the vortex. It settled gently into the city, its hull a mesmerizing blend of living wood and shimmering metal. A ramp extended. From it emerged figures, tall and slender, their skin a shade of emerald green, their hair like flowing moss. They moved with a grace that was both alien and captivating. Xylo gasped. These weren't just any aliens. These were the beings from the legends, the Eldrin, said to have seeded life across the galaxy millions of years ago. They were myths, stories told to frighten children. But here they were, real, alive, walking on Pidar. Zorp, usually so calm, was visibly shaken. "The Eldrin. It's them." The Eldrin began interacting with the city's inhabitants. They moved with purpose, their movements suggesting a deep understanding of the plants, a symbiotic relationship. Xylo observed them tending to the flourishing vegetation, guiding its growth, enhancing its vitality. Days turned into weeks. Xylo and Zorp monitored the Eldrin constantly. They learned that the vortex was an Eldrin technology, a device that accelerated plant growth, transforming barren planets into vibrant ecosystems. Pidar, once a desolate, polluted city, was now a testament to their power. The Eldrin explained that they had detected a distress signal from Xylos, a plea for help that had been lost in the cosmic noise for centuries. Their intention was not to conquer but to heal. They were offering Pidar, and potentially Xylos, a chance at renewal. The transformation of Pidar was more than just botanical. The city's inhabitants, initially fearful, adapted to the changes. They learned from the Eldrin, embracing their knowledge and technology. The plants, in turn, provided sustenance, purified the air, and offered new possibilities. Xylo found herself captivated by the Eldrin's philosophy of symbiosis. Their understanding of life, their harmonious relationship with nature, challenged everything she had ever known. Zorp, initially skeptical, gradually came to accept the Eldrin, recognizing their benevolent intentions. One evening, as they watched the sunset paint the sky in hues of purple and orange, Xylo spoke. "I never thought this was possible. A world transformed, healed, by beings from another galaxy." Zorp nodded, a rare smile playing on his lips. "The impossible, little sprout, has become our reality." The observation deck fell silent, the only sound the gentle rustling of the newly grown plants filtering through the open window. The city of Pidar, once a symbol of Xyloscian struggle, now shone as a beacon of hope, a testament to the possibility of change, a testament to the extraordinary intervention of the Eldrin, and a testament to the alien girl's shock and eventual wonder. The impossible had happened. In a small town nestled between the mountains, a girl named Emma lived her ordinary life. She loved exploring the woods, reading books, and dreaming about adventures far beyond Earth. Little did she know that her life was about to change forever. One sunny afternoon, while wandering in the forest, Emma noticed a shimmering light near an old oak tree. Curious, she walked closer. To her surprise, the light formed a small, glowing door that opened slowly. Emma's heart raced with excitement. Was this a trick of the light, or was something magical happening? Cautiously, she stepped through the door. On the other side, she found herself on another planet. The sky was a vivid shade of purple, with 3 suns shining bright. Strange plants with swirling colors surrounded her, and the air was filled with a sweet, melodic sound that made her feel alive. Emma took a deep breath and began to explore. She saw creatures unlike any she had ever imagined. Some were tall and graceful, with skin that sparkled like diamonds. Others were small and fuzzy, bouncing happily across the ground. Emma was mesmerized and wanted to learn more about this world. Suddenly, she spotted a girl sitting on a rock, looking just as shocked as Emma felt. The girl had bright blue skin, large violet eyes, and hair that flowed like liquid silver. Emma approached her slowly, unsure of how to communicate. "Hello," Emma said, her voice trembling with excitement. The alien girl stared at her for a moment, her eyes wide. "Hello," she replied, her voice soft and melodious. "I am Zara." "I'm Emma," she said, smiling. "What is this place? Why are you here?" Zara looked puzzled. "This is my home, called Zillaria. I was curious about your world, so I traveled here. But something went wrong, and I cannot return." Emma felt a surge of empathy. "What happened?" Zara explained, "I wanted to learn about humans and visited your world through a portal. The portal closed unexpectedly, trapping me here." Emma thought for a moment. "Maybe we can find a way to open it together," she suggested. "I love adventures. I'll help you." Zara's eyes sparkled with hope. "You would do that for me?" "Of course. Let's explore Zillaria and find a way to create a new portal." So the 2 girls set off together. They ventured through forests of luminous trees and fields filled with flowers that changed colors as they danced in the breeze. Along the way, they encountered a wise creature named Eldra, a flying being with feathers that glowed softly in the dim light. Eldra greeted them warmly. "What brings you to Zillaria, young ones?" Emma explained their mission. Eldra listened carefully, nodding. "To open a portal, you must find the Crystal of Unity," she told them. "It holds the power to connect worlds. But be cautious, the journey will test your courage." Eager to start their quest, Emma and Zara thanked Eldra and set off toward the crystal cave, where the crystal was hidden. The path was long and filled with challenges. They crossed a river with rushing waters and climbed steep hills. Along the way, Emma and Zara shared stories about their lives, finding comfort in their friendship despite their differences. As they approached the cave, a loud rumble echoed from within. A giant rock creature known as Grummel stepped out, blocking their path. His rocky body was massive, and his eyes glowed with an eerie light. "Who dares to enter my cave?" Grummel boomed. Emma felt her heart race. "We need the Crystal of Unity," she said bravely. "Please, let us pass." Grummel laughed, a deep, rumbling sound. "Only those who prove their bravery may enter. Face me in a test of wits. Answer my riddle, and I shall let you through." Zara looked worried, but Emma stood tall. "What is your riddle?" Grummel's eyes shimmered as he spoke. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" The girls looked at each other, thinking hard. Emma closed her eyes, imagining the sounds of nature, her favorite books, and the stories they told. Suddenly, she remembered something. "An echo!" Emma exclaimed. "The answer is an echo." Grummel's eyes widened in surprise. "Very clever, human. You may pass." With a sigh of relief, Emma and Zara entered the cave. Inside, the walls shimmered with crystals of all colors. In the center, they saw the Crystal of Unity, glowing bright white. It pulsed with energy, lighting up the entire cave. As they approached the crystal, Zara reached out her hand. "This is it," she whispered. "We can go home." But as she touched the crystal, a dark shadow crept into the cave, swirling around them. It was a storm of negativity, trying to snuff out the light. The girls gasped in fear. "No!" Emma shouted. "We have to fight it together." Zara nodded, and they joined hands, focusing on the warmth they felt for each other. They remembered their adventure, the laughter they shared, and how they had become friends against all odds. The light from the crystal grew stronger, fueled by their bond. The darkness shrieked and began to fade, unable to withstand the power of their friendship. With one last burst of light, the shadow vanished. The cave was filled with a warm glow, and the crystal sparkled with renewed strength. "You did it!" Zara exclaimed joyfully. "Now we can open the portal." Emma and Zara raced back outside, standing in the bright sunlight. With the crystal of unity in their hands, they spoke the words of power they had learned on their journey. A swirling portal opened before them, shimmering like the stars. Emma turned to Zara, her heart full of bittersweet emotions. "I will miss you," she said. Zara smiled softly. "And I will miss you. But our friendship will last forever, no matter the distance." They shared a warm embrace before stepping through the portal together. On the other side, they found themselves back in the forest, the oak tree standing tall. The magical light faded away, but the memories of their adventure would stay forever in their hearts. Emma watched as Zara waved goodbye, stepping back into her own world. Emma smiled, knowing their friendship had crossed the stars and would always remain, no matter where they were. With new adventures ahead in her own world, Emma returned to her life, knowing that anything was possible when you dared to dream. The alien girl watched in shock. Was this even possible? Xylo, with skin like amethyst and hair like spun moonlight, stared. Her 3 eyes, usually sparkling with mischief, were wide with disbelief. Before her, on the dusty surface of Xylos, a planet known for its harsh red deserts and even harsher inhabitants, stood a farmhouse. Not just any farmhouse, but one that looked remarkably like the ones she'd seen in old Earth documentaries. Wooden beams, a weathered porch swing, even a rusty mailbox. Xylo landed her tiny, iridescent spaceship gently in the crimson sand. Her translator, a small, humming device clipped to her belt, buzzed softly. It picked up faint, almost imperceptible radio waves. Human voices. She cautiously approached the farmhouse. The air smelled of dust, sun-baked earth, and something else, something sweet, like baking bread. A thin plume of smoke curled from the chimney. This was impossible. Xylos was uninhabited, except for her people, the Zilanians, and the few scavenging robots left behind from a failed mining operation centuries ago. Humans shouldn't be here. As she neared the house, she heard a child's giggle. A small, freckled girl with bright red hair peeked around the corner of the farmhouse. She stared at Xylo, her mouth open in surprise. "Wow," the girl whispered, her voice barely audible. You're purple." Xylo's translator buzzed again. It was the girl's voice, clear as a bell. The translator seemed to be picking up both Zilanian and human languages. This was getting stranger by the second. The girl, whose name was Lily, cautiously approached Xylo. She had bright, curious eyes. "Are you an alien?" Lily asked, her voice a mix of fear and excitement. Xylo nodded, her amethyst skin shimmering in the harsh sunlight. She didn't know what to say. She'd been sent to Xylos on a solo research mission, a simple data collection exercise. Finding a human farmhouse was not on her itinerary. Lily's mother, Sarah, emerged from the farmhouse. She was tall and slender, with tired eyes and a kind smile. She also looked at Xylo with a mixture of apprehension and wonder. "Hello," Sarah said, her voice calm despite the bizarre situation. "My name is Sarah. This is my daughter, Lily." What are you?" Xylo explained, as best she could, using her translator. She told them about Zilan, her home planet, about her mission, about the impossibility of human presence on Xylos. Sarah listened patiently. She was a botanist, a specialist in extremophile plants, and a lover of old science fiction novels. She had an open mind, despite the impossible reality unfolding before her. "So," Sarah said, once Xylo finished her explanation, "you're saying you traveled light years to find this?" She gestured to the farmhouse. Xylo nodded, still perplexed. Lily, meanwhile, was examining Xylo's spaceship with wide-eyed fascination. She kept poking it, giggling every time a soft, blue light pulsed from its surface. That night, huddled around a crackling fire, Xylo learned more about Sarah and Lily. They were part of a secret experiment, a clandestine project to explore the possibility of terraforming hostile planets. Sarah and Lily were pioneers, the first humans to attempt this bold experiment on Xylos. Their project was heavily funded, but kept from the public, its success or failure unknown until completion. The farmhouse was a prototype, designed to withstand Xylo's harsh conditions. The bread Lily had been baking used specially cultivated, drought-resistant grains. It was a slow, meticulous process, and they were still in the early stages. Xylo's mission suddenly took a sharp turn. She wasn't just here to collect data, she was here to help. Her advanced Xylenian technology could aid Sarah and Lily's terraforming efforts, a task that would be much faster with her help. She could help them analyze the soil, understand the local flora and fauna, and develop more efficient methods. The impossible was now a reality, a partnership formed between two very different civilizations on the edge of a hostile planet. Days turned into weeks. Xylo became an integral part of the team. She used her knowledge to help them develop sustainable farming techniques, using advanced Xylenian fertilizers and irrigation systems. She repaired their solar panels and helped them build a more efficient water filtration system. Lily, meanwhile, helped Xylo learn more about human customs and traditions. They played games, told stories, and learned to understand each other's cultures. Sarah saw the value of this partnership, and the hope of success bloomed in her tired heart. The farmhouse was no longer just a lonely outpost in a harsh landscape. It became a home, a symbol of cooperation and progress. The impossible had not only happened, it had become a new beginning. Xylo, the amethyst alien girl, had found a home, not on her own planet, but on the dusty, red plains of Xylos, alongside a human mother and daughter. The impossible was now their shared reality, their shared future. The success of the project, once a distant hope, was now within their reach. Once upon a time, in a small town named Greenfield, an unusual event was about to unfold. A bright light filled the night sky, and with a loud whoosh, an alien spaceship landed in the nearby woods. Inside the spaceship was an alien girl named Zara. She had large, glistening eyes, shimmering green skin, and hair that sparkled like stars. This was her first visit to Earth, and she was both curious and nervous. As Zara stepped off the spaceship, she noticed how different everything was. The trees were tall and lush, the air smelled sweet, and the stars shone brightly overhead. For a moment, she felt at home. However, her heart raced with excitement and fear. She wanted to explore but wondered if the humans would be friendly. Zara slowly walked deeper into the woods. She heard strange sounds, chirping insects, rustling leaves, and distant laughter. Her curiosity pulled her toward the laughter. It led her to a clearing where she found a group of children playing a game. They were running, throwing a ball, and laughing together. Zara felt a mixture of excitement and fear. Could she join them? Would they accept her as she was? Suddenly, one of the children, a girl named Mia, spotted Zara. "Look! Who is that?" she exclaimed, pointing at the alien girl. The other children stopped playing and turned to look. For a moment, there was silence. Zara felt her heart pound in her chest. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. "My name is Zara," she said in a soft voice. The children stared at her, their eyes wide with shock. Zara felt nervous but continued, "I come from another planet. I wanted to see your world." "Is that even possible?" Mia asked, her voice filled with amazement. The other children nodded, still in disbelief. "Yes, it is," Zara replied with a smile. "There are many worlds out there. I wanted to learn about you and your planet." The children exchanged looks filled with curiosity and excitement. They had never met an alien before. Slowly, they approached Zara. Mia reached out her hand. "Can I touch your skin?" Zara nodded, and Mia gently touched her arm. "Wow, it feels so smooth," Mia exclaimed. The other children gathered around, eager to learn more. Zara felt a wave of happiness. She was welcomed. Zara began to tell them about her planet, Zarath. She spoke of its beautiful landscapes, floating mountains, and colorful creatures. The children listened in awe. They imagined a world where trees flew in the air and rivers sparkled with different colors. Zara continued to share stories, her excitement growing with each word. As the sun began to set, Mia suggested, "Why don't we show Zara our favorite game?" The children cheered and invited Zara to join them. "It's called tag," Mia explained. Zara agreed, though she was unsure how to play. The games began, and Zara surprisingly found herself running with the children. She was fast, nearly as fast as the wind. The children laughed and chased one another across the clearing, their joy echoing in the woods. Zara felt free, happy to experience this earth game, and the connection she felt with the children was stronger than anything she had ever felt before. After playing for a while, the group sat down to rest, catching their breath under the evening sky. The stars twinkled overhead, just as they did on Zarath. For a moment, Zara felt at home. "I really like being here," she confessed to the group. "You are all so kind." Mia smiled. "We like you too, Zara. You are special, and we want to be your friends." Just then, a loud noise disturbed their peaceful moment. The children turned their heads to see a shadowy figure moving in the trees. Zara's eyes widened in concern. "What is that?" she whispered. The figure stepped into the clearing, revealing an adult man with a stern face. "Kids, you shouldn't be out here. This isn't safe," he said loudly. The children's joy turned to fear, and they quickly huddled together. Zara took a step forward. "Please, we're just playing. I'm not a threat. I just want to learn about your world." The man looked confused. "What do you mean, learn about our world?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. "I come from another planet," Zara explained, her heart racing. "I mean no harm. I want to be friends and share stories." The man studied Zara for a moment, then turned his gaze to the children. "You shouldn't be talking to strangers, especially not one who claims to be from another planet." Mia stepped forward, her voice shaking. "But she's not just a stranger. She's our friend. She's really nice." The man glanced at the children's eager faces and sighed. "All right, I'll give you a chance. But you need to be careful. The world can be dangerous for someone who doesn't understand it." Zara felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Thank you. I promise to be careful." With the man's approval, Zara continued to play with the children as night set in. They shared laughter, stories, and a meal of simple sandwiches the children had brought. Zara tasted the bread for the first time, and to her surprise, she loved it. As the stars shone above, Zara felt grateful for her new friends. In that moment, she realized that connection could exist across planets. She had come to learn about Earth but was also learning about friendship and kindness. "Zara, will you come back?" Mia asked, her eyes hopeful. "Yes, I will." Zara promised. I will always carry this friendship with me, no matter where I go. The group smiled brightly at one another, knowing this day would stay in their hearts forever. They understood that while stars separated their worlds, the bond they created was stronger than distance. Zara, looking at her newfound friends, whispered to herself, "Yes, this is possible." The alien girl watched in shock. Was this even possible? Xylo's three eyes widened. She'd seen many strange things on her journeys across the cosmos, but this was beyond comprehension. Before her, bathed in the eerie green glow of Xylo's twin moons, stood a colossal structure. It wasn't like anything she'd encountered in her vast travels. It towered over the alien landscape, a shimmering, metallic behemoth, defying gravity with impossible angles and curves. Xylo was a scout for the ZZ Glorg, a race known for their advanced technology and their even more advanced curiosity. They were explorers, charting the unknown reaches of space, seeking knowledge and new experiences. Xylo, the youngest in her scouting party, was known for her daring spirit and sharp intellect. Her ship, the Stardust Hopper, lay nestled in a crater nearby, its metallic hull dull against the vibrant alien landscape. Xylo had discovered the structure purely by chance, a blip on her long-range scanners, an anomaly that defied all known galactic cartography. She cautiously approached the structure, her multi-jointed legs moving silently on the alien soil. The air hummed with an almost imperceptible energy, tingling against her sensitive antennae. She reached out a hand, her three fingers brushing against the smooth, cool surface. It felt strangely alive, pulsing with a faint warmth. Suddenly, a section of the structure hissed open, revealing a dark interior. Xylo hesitated, her internal sensors whirring, trying to decipher the strange energy signature emanating from within. Her gut told her to flee, but her insatiable curiosity pushed her forward. She stepped inside. The interior was vast and circular, glowing with a soft, blue light. In the center stood a smaller structure, a kind of pedestal, upon which rested a single object, a clear orb, filled with swirling, iridescent gases. It pulsed with a gentle light, mesmerizing in its beauty. As Xylo approached, the orb began to glow brighter. The swirling gases intensified, forming images within its depths. Images of planets, stars, galaxies, a vast panorama of the cosmos, unfolding before her very eyes. Then, the images changed. They showed life. Strange, alien creatures, unlike anything she had ever seen, moving through lush, verdant landscapes. She saw cities, technologies far beyond even the ZZ Glorg's own, societies thriving with an unimaginable complexity. The sight was overwhelming. The sheer scale of what she was seeing made her dizzy. It was as if the entire history of 1,000 civilizations was unfolding before her, a breathtaking symphony of life, death, and rebirth. A voice echoed in her mind, not through her ears, but directly into her consciousness. It was soft, melodic, and filled with an ancient wisdom. "Welcome, Xylo," the voice said. "You are the first of your kind to find this place. We have been waiting for you." Xylo recoiled. She couldn't understand. How could a voice enter her mind? This was far beyond her understanding of communication. Fear warred with fascination. Another voice cut through the first, sharp and urgent. "Captain Rex, we've lost contact with Xylo." The voice belonged to her squad leader, a grizzled veteran named Glargone. "Search the area," Rex responded. She wouldn't simply vanish. Meanwhile, Xylo discovered that the orb wasn't just displaying images. It was somehow connected to her thoughts, her memories, her very essence. She saw glimpses of her own life, her childhood on the ZZ Glorg homeworld, her training, her first solo flight. It was as if the orb was absorbing her very being, analyzing her, understanding her. The first voice returned, soothing and calming. "We do not wish to harm you, Xylo. We merely wish to learn. Another figure emerged from the shadows. It was tall and slender, with skin that shimmered like polished obsidian. Its eyes, large and luminous, held a captivating intelligence. The figure moved with an ethereal grace, almost as if it were floating. "We are the keepers," the being said, its voice echoing the same calming melody as the previous one. "Guardians of the cosmic archive. We record the history of all civilizations, preserving their knowledge for future generations." Xylo, despite her initial fear, found herself calmed by the being's presence. She cautiously approached, her three eyes fixed on the being's enigmatic face. She realized the immense responsibility that lay before her. She had stumbled upon a secret of unimaginable importance, a secret that could change the course of galactic history. Glargone and Rex, meanwhile, were frantically searching for Xylo. Their scanners showed nothing, as if she had simply ceased to exist. They were at a loss. Xylo was the most experienced scout in their team, and her disappearance was unheard of. But Xylo was not lost. She was learning, discovering, and preparing to share her knowledge with her people. This discovery was not simply a scientific marvel, it was a bridge between cultures, between civilizations. It was a connection to the very fabric of existence. The keeper's knowledge was vast, a boundless ocean of wisdom. Xylo knew that returning to her people with this information would change everything. The future of her race, indeed, the future of the galaxy, was about to be rewritten. And Xylo, the alien girl, was at the center of it all. The shock had passed, now, a new kind of wonder filled her three hearts.